Hello and hi. Welcome to the Botanist Events Global Podcast Series, where we bring together exceptional leaders who are shaping the future of finance, operations, and business transformation across the world. I'm your host, Rashika, and today we are joined by someone whose career journey reflects resilience, growth, and a deep commitment to elevating the finance function. So today we're pleased to be joined by Tanisha Govindarajan, the Group CFO at GMG. So, Tanisha, thank you so much for joining us today. Before we dive into the discussion, could you please briefly introduce yourself and share a little about your role at GMG?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Tanisha Govindarajan. I'm the Group CFO at GMG. I'm Indian, have about 20 plus years of experience, worked across different companies, with Heinz, DRG, Mondelez, and L'Oreal. And since the last about 9 odd months, I'm the CFO of GMG. GMG is a UAE-based family conglomerate. We operate in multiple businesses, sports, food, health and beauty, logistics, properties, and ventures. And I'm quite excited to be here today with all of you to share some insights and also hear from you.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Tanisha, for the brief introduction. So now let's jump into our discussion. Okay, so Tanisha, first thing first. Your keynote is entitled AI Powered Finance from Pilot to Enterprise Scale. And that phrase really captures the challenge many organizations are facing today. So, from your experience, Tanisha, what are some of the most common challenges finance team encounter when trying to scale AI initiatives beyond the pilot stage?
I think, first of all, AI is the biggest shift which is happening across the world right now, across all functions. Especially for finance after the ERP transformation, this is the biggest shift. But unlike a ERP transformation, AI is not just a technology implementation or a change management project. It's a whole operating model change. It's a different way of thinking, a different way of operating. And it's a different way of thinking in terms of, decision making, productivity, and value creation. So in terms of the challenges, I would say I think everyone's trying what can be done. The basics are very clear, so obviously any repetitive task, anything which takes a lot of time and a lot of volume of data and which needs to be churned. So that's the initial use case. I think in terms of issues and challenges, typically what happens in most organizations is that, a lot of people are developing their AI and using it individually or at a function level. So the entire data set of AI is not today coming together. So that there's a huge scope in that. And the second would be around data governance, because I believe there is rich data available across each function, across different organizations. So be it a finance data, sales data, inventory data, or any cost information, all these informations need to come together in a certain way, and all the AI capabilities also need to come together, and there has to be a data governance, because AI eventually will only do garbage in, garbage out. So if your base data is not the right one, or let's say it's not well integrated and well massaged, eventually what you will get as output from AI will also be not very useful or relevant. And beyond all of this, the biggest challenge at AI or usage of AI is mainly the scalability of it. Because, as I said, every function is using it individually. When you have to scale it at an enterprise level, it becomes difficult. So you really need to think enterprise level structure and operating model way before it becomes a necessity.
Understand. So, I guess data is really the key to this, uh, to the question, right? So, to your answer, data is very very important, so that it helps with everything, and then it would, you know, uh, like you mentioned, for data governance as well. It's very the top priority right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Tanisha, for the response. So now moving on to the next question. So with so many AI solutions emerging today, Tanisha, it can be challenging for finance leaders to distinguish between what can genuinely create value and what may simply be a threat. When you are evaluating where AI can make a meaningful impact within the finance function versus where it may just create additional complexity? What decision-making framework do you use, Tanisha?
I think the decision making framework is very straightforward. It's but obvious that AI is supposed to help you make faster, better decisions, right? So, in terms of the questions which I typically ask for any use case or any new project, is very simple to say: will it improve the decision quality, and how fast, how well informed, and how cohesive? Not just from a, let's say, functional lens, but also at an organizational lens. And the second thing is, if we develop this, is it going to scale consistently across the organization? And I think both these questions are equally critical. My philosophy is very simple: automate the routine task, augment the analytical thinking, and enhance the professional judgment. So, when we go around with this framework, eventually AI can be a huge, huge, huge enabler.
Mhm. Understood? Okay, thank you so much, Takisha, for the response. Okay, now third question, Tanisha. Data quality is often highlighted as one of the biggest barriers to successful AI adoption. So, without reliable and structured data, even the most advanced AI solutions may not deliver the expected outcomes, like you responded in the first question. So, Tanisha, how did you approach this fundamental challenge at GMG? And what steps were important in building the right foundation for AI adoption?
So, as I said, data quality and data governance is critical. Okay, but I believe most organizations have rich data. But the current way the structure of data is mainly to service the current decision making frameworks, right? So I think a lot of organizations need to think, because it's an operating model change. So if you have to change the way of thinking, your data needs to support the change in the way of thinking. Right? So a lot of data restructuring and remodeling probably needs to be done depending upon you, what kind of organization, what kind of data they have. And beyond the point, it's not just remodeling and restructuring, it's also about, how trustable your data is, how reliable it is, how cohesive it is it talking to each other? Is your sales and store and inventory and finance and market information talking to each other? How are you going to bring all of this together on one platform for AI to access it, where humans and AI can interact to make better decisions? That's very critical. But the most critical one is, you don't need 100% accurate data. Yes, AI has a very good capability. We do. But even with that, to make a sound decision, you don't really need 100% accurate information. What you need is directionally reliable data, right? And that's what I think most people miss. If you go in for a perfect solution, a perfect model, you'll miss the race and you'll end up waiting for it too long. So what's important is to identify which are your critical parameters and data points. As long as you have reliable, reasonably trustable data, you should be able to progress with that and build your AI model around it and able to scale it up.
I understand. So somehow Tanisha data it connects each department, so you guys can focus on what's the most important thing, but through data.
Yeah.
Okay, understand. Okay, thank you so much, Tanisha, for the response. Okay, next question is: transformation is not just a technology journey; it's also a people journey. As AI challenges the way finance team operates, how do you bring your teams along and help them adapt to new ways of working while maintaining engagement and trust?
Yeah, I think any change is a people challenge. It's not just the AI as a change. I think any change in the past and in the future will always be a people challenge. And that's what I think people need to understand. If you go as per the ADKAR model, it's very simple: create awareness, create the desire, spread the knowledge, have the adaptability, and reinforce. So I think it's a very simple framework which most organizations follow to go through change management. I think in terms of AI, I think the biggest fear which most people have is, there will be a lot of job losses. And to be honest, probable, but people are not going to lose jobs to AI. They'll probably lose jobs to people who can use AI better. right, and who are far more enabled and empowered with AI. So I think that's a very critical distinction which people need to understand. And it's also about what I don't know, I'll be scared of. So I think it's important to, have the right curiosity and the mindset to learn a new skill, to think differently. And as leaders, it's our responsibility to lead by example. So if I, as a CFO today, I'm going to use AI, you to do some basic tasks, but even to do some very hard level strategic thinking, I'm leading by example, and I'm going to be, kind of, showing an example to the team to say it's okay. Yes, we all need AI, and it's an enabler. It's not a threat.
Understand. So, because right now, I think we cannot really run from AI because most of the things now includes AI. And yes, I second you where you mentioned that we are not gonna be replaced by AI, but people itself who knows how to use AI. So I think it's a very great skill to have to to use AI, how to give them the all the tasks and we execute it in our um work life, but then we don't have to 100% rely on it. We still need our own initiative for that. So you know. Okay, Tanisha, last but not least, for CFOs who are still at the early stages of their AI transformation journey, what is the one thing you wish someone had told you before you started?
Okay, I think to be honest, I don't know where I started because the whole AI journey just came and we all got engrossed into it. I think, what I have learned through this journey is it's not just to, augment your current ways of working. It's a shift in ways of working. It's a change in the operating model itself. And what you need is not, let's say, a massive budget, the perfect data, and a lot of use cases. What you need is curiosity because everyone's learning on the go. And what you need is a good data governance and a good data structure. And with that will also keep evolving as you go about it. So, my advice to anyone who's starting on this journey would be very simple, which is start on, let's say, one good high value business problem, measure the outcome, build the trust, and then scale responsibly. And by scale responsibly, what I mean is hold humans accountable for the final decision. Because AI is there to support the decision making, it will enhance your analytical capabilities and it's supposed to help you make better informed decisions. But finally, it's the humans and the leaders, or let's say the teams, who are going to be accountable for the final decision that's taken.
Understand? That's a great advice, Tanisha. Thank you so much. Okay, Tanisha, thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights with us today. It's been a pleasure to have you on this podcast. To our listeners, we look forward to hearing more from Tanisha at the CFO and Finance Studio Summit Singapore 2026, where she'll be delivering a keynote session entitled AI Powered Finance from Pilot to Next Enterprise Scale. So, Tanisha, do you have anything else to say to our listeners?
I think this podcast was quite straight and direct to the point. It's quite interesting. There's a lot more to share, and I think there's a lot more to learn. I'm looking forward to the interaction in the month of August with all of you, and I'm happy to have this conversation and have an engaging session in August.
Awesome. Okay, to everyone, if you'd like to hear more from Tanisha and learn from the other top finance leaders across the country, be sure to join us at the summit. And Tanisha, thank you so much again for joining us. And to everyone tonight, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you, Tanisha. See you at the summit.
Thank you.